And so what and what I love about DemCast is it gives you the opportunity to have some really amazing content. So this is going to be training 101. And it's going to be training 101 for two reasons. One, because I'm just at 101. And two, because if you just get the basics tonight, we will have ongoing training and engagement. So tonight you can just focus on just getting the basics. And so I'm very excited about that. And so I am going to hope that most of you, because you're here, have already downloaded the Reach app, and that I'm going to show you some of the very easy things that you'll be able to see and do tonight. The really beautiful thing about this is that you can do it from your cell phone, your mobile phone. You can do it from your laptop if that's what you use. You can also do it from email in terms of how you want to share social media. I've showed my husband tonight, he's not on Facebook, but I'm like, you got email friends, and so you can email them. So whatever your choice way to reach out to your public square is the way that you can reach out on Reach. So let's start with some of the real basics about this app and how you use it. And so when you first sign on, you are going to see what looks like this. And you guys have all done that portion, and Nick will jump in if I miss something important. And typically there is an action feed for something that you can do. And as excited as I was about the countdown tonight to want to do my own, I did not do it purposefully so that I could show it to you in terms of what the action feeds look like, which are things that you get to that we want to push you to, that we want to focus you on. And this just happens to be an action card that I hope you guys will be very excited to start tonight after you get off of this call, because it counts down to the election. And so we are at 89 days. And so if you were to actually click on this action feed here, it would give you an opportunity. I'm going to hopefully move this and it'll be right, about what you can do. And we actually have some suggested content in here that you would be able to use and share out tonight. And so this would be the assignment. I'm not going to go here because I want to sort of walk through each of the other pieces of this before we actually show you how you're actually going to get to share content. And so for those of you on the phone tonight, and you can just sort of take yourself off and answer the question for me, do most of you use Facebook? Are you Twitter people? Are you WhatsApp? Are you Instagram? What's your passion?
Instagram or Facebook for now, either one.
Okay, thank you, Tammy.
Okay.
Facebook.
Facebook?
Yes.
Facebook is my favorite too. Don't tell Nick because he's a Twitter person.
Yeah,
But
I don't
Facebook
really
is
use any of them. I just email.
okay. Okay. Yes, yes, you do. All right. So that is perfectly fine.
Facebook is mine.
Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay, Facebook is mine too. I love Facebook. All right, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to sort of walk you through what each of these things are. So the action feed, which is what I've just walked through for you guys to sort of show you what you might see when you first join, when you first get on here. I want to also just sort of show you this is home, so you can just sort of see that this is our home base. And then you can also see that there is a place at the bottom that you can chat. And I'm going to come back and talk about that too, because I want to show you in detail, because there's some important things that you should know about the chat space. But I'm going to move on to what you see here, which is the library. And this is another really important but fun one. The library will be all of the content that you have available to you to use from or however you use it. And if you see my screen here, it shows recent content. And that means that anything that shows as new means that I haven't looked at it yet. And this will look different for everybody. So when you guys are on here, when you sign in, your new may not look like my new, because this is for you. So this is the library. This is the beautiful library. Aside with the library, let me move people. Along with the library, what you'll also see are the galleries. And the galleries is where information goes that's consistent content that sort of helps you understand what you want to talk about. So if I wanted to focus on, let's say my new favorite is Joyful Warriors, and I wanted to see what the content was in Joyful Warriors, I'd simply click on it and it would give me all of the content that's in there. And these are all the pieces of content that I'd get to use. And you can see that they're all pretty consistent. If you click through each one of these, you wouldn't be able to do anything but smile, because it's sort of this idea about what the campaign is all about. And I'm just going to go back and you can see all of them. I'm going to go back to another gallery. And you can see here, there are all kinds of things here. I'm going to click on see all because there's a bunch in the galleries. And these are just wonderful ways for you to see all the things that you might want to talk about. So if you feel so inclined that you want to talk about Kamala Harris, and this happens to be the Democrats, which is another campaign that we work with, you could do that. So this information is here for you to choose. What I also want you guys to know and think about when you think about the galleries and the content, I recognize that for some of your jobs and some of the things that you do, you might not want to hit politics really hard. You know your audience, you know your public square better than anybody else, which is why this is so great, because you get to pick the content that you know is going to be important and relevant to the groups that you talk to, which I think is sort of perfect. So far, any questions? All right, so I'm going to go to some of the other places that I think will be important before we go to any content. And that is, we just talked about home. I want to talk about the chat. And so this is really important information for you guys to know as you sort of start to play with this tool. So the announcements is where information that Nick and the team will put in for things that you need to know. So for example, the training tonight would have been in announcements. And so you would have been able to go there and you'd find out anything that's happening that's relevant and important for you. You can always click on announcements to find that out. And then there is help and support, which is if there are questions that you have, you get tangled up in something, you can always go here and you can click on it and you can put information in to ask a question. And then hopefully we'll get back to you as soon as we can to answer that question for you. And then I want you guys to know, this is just the staff information, but I want you to know something else that's important for you as well. And that is, one second. Let's see here. That I'm going to go back. It's just online information for you to have. Now I'm going to show you how you would actually use this information, how you would actually do a post, which is very exciting. When you guys do your posts, do you typically do them on your cell phones, or does anybody use their laptop to do posts? You can just yell out and tell me how you do it.
I do on cell phone.
Okay. Laptop?
Laptop.
Laptop. Okay.
Desktop, iPad, and phone.
Okay, you do both. Well, we're going to show you both tonight in terms of how to do it. And I want to get to this is another piece that's just sort of important and fun. You can look at your campaign directory here, and it would also give you an opportunity to see what other campaigns are there and available. Some of them are locked, like the Democrats that show up on here. That one is a locked campaign, which means you'd have to have a 6-digit code to get to it. Most of the time, you don't really have to worry about that because we have the information from the Democrats. But for ours, it is open and you have an opportunity to just get to it. So if you are to refer friends or someone else to use it, it is very easy for you to get to. So I'm gonna, before we go to user groups, I'm gonna ask Nick if he'll come on because I can't do my cell phone. And we wanna show you how to use your cell phone and actually do a post. So Nick, do I need to give you stop sharing so you can share?
Yes, please stop your share.
There you go.
And I'll swap over to my phone here. And okay. right, there it is. So reach. All right. Okay. So as you can see, and as Fanel kind of said, the anatomy of the program on the phone is the same as it is on the desktop version. You can see up at the, so we're on the home screen. If you look down at the bottom of the screen there, there's the home icon and the chat icon. There's a rankings icon, which you might touch on too. But on the home icon, up and then back up at the top, you can see there's the action feed, right? And then there's the library. And so the action feed is where we have things that you can do, like things that we might be asking you to do. And then the library is just a library. It's just a bunch of stuff that you can access to share online. So, and then the chat is over on the right side on the bottom. And so it is, we have a lot of chat groups, and some of them are, well, actually only one of them is announcements only. So in the announcements group is here, and that one we ask you, if you're on your mobile device, to leave the notifications on for that group, because it's a one-way communication from DemCast to you. We don't drop a lot of announcements in there. We're not trying to bombard you with notifications. If we drop something in there, it's something that we really want you to look at. But let's say you explore the chat groups, which you can do by clicking. If you notice my little tiny face in the upper right-hand corner there of my phone screen, on the Zoom there. If you click on your profile in the upper right-hand corner of the home screen or the chat screen, this little menu opens up, and there's a join and leave user groups option right there, if you can see that. And so there's all these different groups that you can join. You can access these whether you're on your laptop, iPad, or phone. And so one of those groups is our DemCast community chat, and it's just an open chat forum where we can just like share our cat pictures or talk about politics or whatever. So it's a great way to have community. As you can see, there's up at the top, it says how many members are in that chat group. And so there's 228 members in that chat group. So if people are feeling chatty that day, then there might be a lot of content flowing there, and you might be getting a lot of notifications, because every time somebody says something in that group, you're going to get a notification on your phone if you have notifications turned on. So it's totally up to you. I leave all my notifications on. I get so many notifications anyway. It's like a lost cause. But totally understand if you want to turn those off. And the way that you do that on your phone is if you see that little information symbol in the upper right-hand corner, once you enter the chat group, the little I, if you click on that, it brings up a menu. And then where you see where there's a couple of toggles there in the sort of lower middle part of the screen, it says chat messages, and if you don't want to get notifications for your chat messages for that specific group, you can turn those off. And so then you can still be in the group, and you can still go and explore the conversation from the day or whatever, but you don't get pinged on your phone every single time somebody drops a message in there. So that's just a really useful way to like make Reach more tolerable for you if you're not somebody who likes to get, if you're somebody who likes to use your phone for the app, but doesn't want to get all those notifications. If you don't use the mobile app for Reach and you just use the desktop version, there's no notifications on there, so you don't have to worry about it. So this is really just if you're using the mobile app. Anything else that I need to cover there for now?
Nope, I don't think so. I think that's it.
Okay,
Okay.
sweet. I'll stop
So-
sharing them.
So did you, I turned away. So did you actually share, did you actually post something?
I didn't post anything. I was talking about notifications.
Okay.
Do you want me
Yes.
to post something?
Yeah, I want you to go
Okay.
there and post from the phone, and then I'm going to post from the laptop after I
Okay,
take it
sweet.
down.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm gonna I'll go to the library, and I really like this Joyful Warriors gallery here. So I'm gonna, because it's all like kind of happy content, and I'm gonna click into that. And oh, I loved this picture today. This was a picture from the Wisconsin rally in Eau Claire, and there's just this girl uh, climbing up some kind of beam or something, and she's got her Kamala sign and her Go Kamala crown on, and I just love that one. So I'm gonna. There's a little blue button down at the bottom with an arrow going up. That's the share button, and so I'm gonna click that. And then there's some suggested post language here. You can use that, or you can just write your own post, and that's totally fine if you choose to do that. But this just makes it super quick if you're trying to get some posts off. So I'll go ahead and copy that language. I click that copy button, and then down at the bottom it says select app. So I'm going to select my app, and I'm a Twitter guy, so I'm going to click Twitter. And then so it brings up this screen, and it's connecting. Because it's on my mobile phone, and I'm logged into the Twitter app on my mobile phone. It's just connecting directly to the Twitter app, so I don't have to download anything. It just brings up a Twitter post opportunity up for me. I paste that language in there. It's a little bit over budget on characters because Twitter has a character limit. So I'm just gonna troubleshoot that for 1 second. Okay, I'm just gonna take freedoms and boom, got
There
it.
you go.
Down to 0. Okay, so there's my post, and then I just click post, and it's there. And the reason the reason that was over budget on characters, just so you know, like some platforms have character limits and some don't. So some of the posts might be a little long for some platforms, like Threads has a character limit, Twitter has a character limit. So if that's the case, you can always just change the suggested post language and adapt it. So
Yeah, or you don't have to use it at all. You
don't
can
have to
not,
use it all.
you don't have
Yeah,
to
you can
use it
just
at
write your
all.
own
You
thing.
can, yeah,
Yep.
you can,
I could have just said, oh my gosh, look at her. Here we go. Yes, we can. And that probably would have been a great post too. So okay, so I'll stop sharing now, and you'll share.
yeah. So before you stop sharing, and I don't need you to do the actual post, but since everybody uses Facebook and most people use their cell phones, and the next time I'll have my cell phone connected, but can you just go back so that they can see how easy it would be to actually do that to Facebook?
Oh, sure. Should I pick a different one?
Yeah.
Okay. This one looks happy and nice. Yeah, there you go. I'll do that one. So I'm going to click that same share button down at the bottom. I'll copy my post language. I'll select my app. I'll see if, see, I don't really use Facebook a lot.
Yeah,
So
like Facebook. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
it's there, but it's in there somewhere. And then it offers me do I want to post this straight to my feed? Do I want to post it to my story or a group that I'm in? So I'm going to just post it to my feed. And then it brings up my Facebook post, and I can just paste that, or I can write something that I want and then click post. And Facebook, it seems to take a little bit longer than some of the other platforms, but it's pretty quick. Especially if you have a video, it can take 30 seconds or something.
And then you saw that on the top there, it said, thanks for sharing, because it also just sort of captures the amount of sharing that you do. So in terms of the amount of content that you use, the information, there is information that you can take a look at to see exactly what you've done. So you can keep track of yourself, because the goal would be to do something every day. And you're gonna give back to me, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about what I mean by that.
Okay, that sounds good. Mary caught me, and I see in the, the comments there.
Okay, yes. Okay, so we're back. Let me move you guys. Okay, good, that helps. Okay, so we're back, and this is what I want you guys to think about. It really is just that easy. So I'm going to pause for a minute for those of you out there and just tell me so far, based on what you've seen, any questions? What are you thinking? Because in the last one that we did, someone did it while she was on the phone. And so has anybody done it? What are you thinking? Give me a little feedback right now. It's only 17 of you, so you can talk to me.
Seems pretty easy. I think I can do that.
Is that you, Arlene?
That's me.
See, Nick, I have all my friends tonight.
I've used it a lot and it's so simple. I've used it on my phone and my iPad and it couldn't be easier.
Yeah, it makes it makes your content look really good. One of the things that I want you guys to think about in terms of the power here, Nick didn't say this, but this is what I want you to know in terms of the impact that this has. If you think about Ketanji Brown Jackson when she was going for the Supreme Court, the DemCast did a ton of work to ensure that all the messaging that went out on her was this really, really positive messaging. And it makes a huge difference. Nick, can you tell the team here how many impressions were given for Judge Jackson when DemCast started to do that work?
Yeah, we had billions of impressions online for very, very straightforward content that was really focused on lifting up her credentials and her history and her qualifications. We tried not to get into the, everybody else was maybe trying to get into the mud on racial stuff or whatever, and we were like, no, we're not going to get dragged in there. We're gonna lead this conversation, and it worked. We made a big difference. The White House was very happy.
Very good. And I will just say, in terms of content, if you guys think about January 6th, it was another place where the content that was shared from social media, positive social media from places like DemCast, really made a difference. I want to just go back and show you this because we were here just a minute ago, but I wanted to let you know that where you see your profile, just like I just clicked on for me, you see that. It will give you the opportunity to get more information. So it's an online knowledge base. And so it is just some additional information about how to use Reach. Tonight, the focus really was just to just give you the basics so that you felt really good about it. I know Mary Merrick wants to see Twitter, and I do, not Twitter, but TikTok. And I do post to TikTok, but sometimes it's usually it's just a picture or something, and I put, the chat on top of it, and I'll show you that. But I wanted to just make sure that I showed you how I do it when I do it from my laptop, which is way not easier than doing it from another version. But I'm gonna show you that. So just give me a second to get this. And so let's see here. Let me get rid of that. Trying to get that away. That's done. Okay, here we go. Okay, so if I'm going to post to my for my laptop, which is not as easy, and someone on the phone said that they posted from their laptop, so they probably can do this better than me. I usually post from my phone or from my iPad, but I want to show you that it can be done. Anybody else on here use their laptop for posting? Tell me who else does that. Nobody? Okay, but I'm still going to show you. Okay. Kitty, is that you?
I've done it from my desktop, but I've posted, but yeah, it's what's already been done.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just show you how I do it when I do it from here, just to show you guys that, I mean, it's not as easy as your phone or your iPad, but it can be done. And Nick, is 7:37, and I know we wanted to talk about 11 films. So did you want to do that first, or you want me to do this first?
They actually haven't launched yet. I'm texting with them, so
Okay.
yeah, why don't we go ahead and do that?
All right, we're going to keep on going. 11 Films is going to launch another one of their videos, and we don't want to miss that. It's pretty cool. All right, so if I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it from here, this is the way that I do it. So here's what I do. All right, so I'm going to get back here. All right, so let's say what do I want to do fun? So let's see. All right, let's see. I want to do. Nope, I don't want recent. I'm going to go to a gallery. There is some new stuff tonight, so let's see here. I'll do Harris Walls, okay? And I happen to love this. When they go weird, we go walls. So I'm gonna choose that one. And so this is the one that I want to use, and I'm going to download it. So let me do that. And because this is weird, I'm going to just say, okay, I want to save it. So I'm going to save it in my downloads. So I'm just going to do that there. And then I'm going to go to Facebook, because that's where I want to, hold on, just let me get rid of you guys. You're in my way. Okay, so I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna save it. I want to do it too. I'm gonna share it. And I'm gonna share to
Yeah, you already downloaded the content, so you just
yeah,
have
I
to.
did, but I'm sorry, I can't see because I got stuff in
Yeah.
my way. So I gotta move it out of the way. All right, so I got that. So I'm gonna download it. I'm gonna share. I already saved it as what I'm gonna save it as. Got that. And then I'm going to try to get it to my Facebook. So here's what we're gonna do. So I get to my Facebook, and here is my home on my Facebook. And this is what I want to do. So I'm here. And then I'm going to do the picture that I just saved.
No. 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 Okay. Okay.
I got it. That's Sam thinking that I need help. And then I get this out of the way. It's going to just do that. I'm going to tag people. It's done. Get this out of my way. Hold on. Somebody's talking to me. And there it is.
So it's just like you're posting anything
There you
else.
go. They had to move and we're posted. You guys can't see this, but when you're sharing your screen, it blocks your stuff, and so you can't see your stuff. There it is. So he's there. Yeah, there you go. And it's posted. Yay! So not as easy as Facebook or your phone. I mean, doing it from your phone or your iPad, but certainly it can be done. And so there it is. So that one's done, and I'm just going to go back to Reach. And that's it. And then if I want to keep on doing stuff, I could keep on doing stuff. And so let me just stop there and say, based on what you guys have seen so far, what do you think? Is this a doable thing for you? Can you do this with your public square?
Yes.
I've already done it.
You already done it?
Yeah, I just did it for the first time. It was simple.
It was simple and easy. And this is the other thing why I think this is so important. It's because it is going to require every single one of us in order to make this work. And in order to make it work, that means everybody has to be committed to talking to your friends and your family and everyone that you know. And the other piece that's really important here, I'm going to go back and share again because I need to tell you this message, is that
Well, I'm in the process of doing mine now.
oh, are you? Oh, this is Ed. Hi, Ed. All
Hey,
right.
Fennell, my friend.
All right, so this is what I want to tell you and why I think it's so important. So you saw that we had the gallery that was the countdown gallery, and that is counting down the 89 days, which is where we are today for this campaign. And what we want to do is to make sure that this audience, and it's not just you, but all the other thousands of people who are on Reach for DemCast, that we are sending out consistent messages that speak to what we want to talk about. And if you just think about the joyful warriors, when we all send out a message one day where there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people sending out a message, and it's this joyfulness that's going to be throughout your friends and family and your spaces and our friends and family and their spaces. And when you share it with them, they share it with someone else. It always reminds me of something that Linda Hersham wrote, and I talk about her every single Friday in The Color of Abolition, and that is sharing messages and how we speak to people and that it matters. And so it's not just sharing public information that is positive, but it's also making injustice public, which means that when there is disinformation, we are the people who are going to correct that information. The 18 of us on this phone tonight are the ones who do that. As we count down these 89 days to the election, it is us who will be counting down with our friends and family so that they understand how important this election is and what they need to do. This is one teeny tiny small thing that each one of us can do. And it's just a couple of minutes on your cell phone every day to become a social media warrior. Now, Nick, did I miss anything? And what questions can I answer for anyone? Hi, Kitty. All right, I'm gonna walk away from the screen for just a minute. So I'm gonna just sort of walk through everything that we talked about tonight. So we started in the home space where you get to see exactly what you're going to need to do, your action feed, any actions that you might have, any things you might need to do. We also talked about the chat at the bottom so that you can go in to see what information there might be for you for that day. And you also saw the different user groups in the chat that you can go in to decide which ones you want to be a part of. We talked about the library, which is where I am now, which gives you all of the content. When you first open it up, it will be all of the things that you have not seen yet. That's brand new content. One of my favorite pieces tonight that was brand new earlier, I already posted it, was Donald Trump with Kevin Roberts from the Heritage Foundation, who he says that he doesn't know anything about the Heritage Foundation, but they've been together for a very long time. So I thought it was very important based on the news that they see that. And then, of course, after that, you have the galleries. And there are many galleries with bunches of content. Don't let that throw you. Know your family, your friends, and know the kind of content that's going to matter to them. You can do it through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and you can even just send emails to your friends and family. But I want you to pay special attention to the countdown to the election, where there'll be a countdown opportunity for you every single day so that all of us are sharing the same narrative about what's happening in this election. And that's basically all there is to it. Anytime you have a question, you can go to the chat, ask the question, pay attention. There'll be more training to give you even more insight into this. And that's just how much fun and easy it is to be a social media warrior for 2024 for this campaign so that we can win. Any questions?
I have one question. I'm sorry, and I joined late, so I'm sorry if this was already discussed. Is there a place on the app where we can go to get background information to combat things that we're seeing online that we know are incorrect, but we want to have facts to be able to post, to comment on? And, his military the military service, I saw somewhere maybe in the chat that there's some background on that. But is there like an official place where we can dig a little deeper into things to make sure we have accurate information?
Yes, and so if I were to go into so let me go into the chat, because there are toolkits. And so, Nick, you can tell me if I'm not in the right place on this, but we do post toolkits, and there was a toolkit posted specifically on Tim Wall so that there was good background information on him. Nick, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here for now.
The toolkit.
Yep. You want me to?
Yeah, I'll
You're-
stop my share.
You're still
And I
presenting.
also just wanted to talk about the Substack, which also has additional information too.
Yep. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting bombarded with stuff right now. Okay. Share screen. Okay. Forgive me when you see my screen for all the notifications popping up. Okay. So couple different places where you might see messaging guidance and sort of preferred messaging. In the action feed here, we have a standing item that stays there. That's links to our social media toolkits. Our toolkits are very similar to Reach, but it's links to a single URL that has a variety of posts on the same topic. So if we're wanting to talk about Trump, if we're all trying to jump online at the same time and talk about how Trump is the reason that Roe versus Wade got overturned, then we might go to our reproductive freedom toolkit and use that, because it's all content that's there in the same time. We'll usually have a hashtag that's the same across all the posts. So I'll click into that reproductive freedom one. Okay, and then so this is going to be a source for like preferred messaging, because this is like content that's been known to test well, or to travel well online, and using messaging guidance that we get from people who are testing messaging to see what resonates with regular people. So these toolkits are a great resource. Another place where you can go, where we might put stuff, is actually just right here in the action feed. Sometimes if we get top line messaging guidance from, let's say, Leader Jeffries or the Harris campaign or something like that, sometimes we'll publish an action card that actually just like shares that messaging guidance directly in the action card so that people can access it. Another place where you can go in here is in the chat section. So I'll click down on the bottom there. There's that chat icon. I'll click that, and there is actually a messaging guidance user group, and it's a no chat user group. This is just where we are sharing guidance that we get directly from those sources that I was talking about earlier. So this is just stuff that you can, like, Jamie dropped. This is, of course, right after Walz was selected, I think. So we had like a slew of messaging guidance that came out about like how to talk about him. And so you can just scroll through this and read it. And, this is, if we're dropping it here, it's coming from either high-level Democrats or the campaign, or it's coming from people who are testing messaging and releasing the results of those tests with sort of optimized language to use either on social or when you're talking to people in your life. So the messaging guidance user group is another good place to go. And again, to access those user groups, you just click on your little profile, but click on your face on your little profile icon, and then go to join and leave user groups there. And you can find the ones that you like and join those.
That's super helpful. Thank you so
Yep.
much. I'm heading into a week with family who are Trump supporters, so I just
Oh,
want
good
to,
luck.
I'll have time to read on the plane. Yep.
Good luck. I will say that the other place where we ask you to go is to the digital drumbeat. So the digital drumbeat is our Substack. It's a newsletter basically, and it comes. We usually have 4 to 5 posts a week, and it comes straight to your inbox. And so we will publish stuff there like this new ad that just got released while we were on this call, which is why my phone was blowing up. A new 11 Films ad. So we posted about that, and we in that post we linked to a social. You can watch the ad, so you can play it there, and we also linked to a social media toolkit that we published, that where you can actually literally go and share the ad to whatever platform you want. We will also have the ad up in Reach. This all just happened while we were on this call, so I'll make sure we get the new 11 Films ad up right away. If Jamie already might have actually. So you can subscribe to the digital drumbeat, and that's another place where if we get like big time messaging guidance about stuff, I'll publish a post that shares that messaging guidance, and that way it comes to your inbox. It's just another place where you can get that information.
And it's really great information, because I was going to add that I guess maybe it was a few weeks ago, there was just excellent information on Project 2025 and all the resources and all the places that you can go. And so it just sort of helps level out all of the stuff that you're getting. You can just get a few pieces. And because you are now social media Avengers, now you might as well get the drumbeat so that you can have all of the encompassing information about Reach and all of the things that go with it from DemCast. Thank you for that, Nick. I knew that I couldn't remember today where that information was, but I knew that it was all there.
Yep.
So-
And you can always just ask. Like that's the beautiful thing about the chat section. You can ask in the help area, or you can just ask in the community chat, because like it doesn't necessarily have to be DemCast staff. Like we have a very knowledgeable community that has access to lots of information. So that's just ask, you know.
So we're we are at the top of the hour. I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank everybody that I see here, because I think that you are as excited as I am about this, because I love this. I know, Kitty, I love this, and I think it makes us so professional in what we deliver to our friends and family, and it makes us seem as we are, which are the ones that they come to for information, and we can make a difference in this election in a very, very simple, easy way. And so again, this is just one of the trainings. There will be more. Any questions you have, as Nick said, you can just go to the chat. I think that this was awesome. So is there anything else that I can do or say for any of you tonight before I let you go?
Can I ask one more question?
Sure, Kitty.
Okay, so I'm posting everything on Facebook. What is like the most impactful number of posts that you have found in your research? Like, are you looking for doing 5 or 10 a day? Because I can easily blow up my feed, but I don't want to overwhelm. Is there an optimal number?
Well, I'll let Nick answer, but I'll tell you what I think. You know your friends and family on Facebook better than anybody else in terms of how much they want to hear from you and what they want to do. So I think that that's an answer for people to answer individually in terms of, you know, your family, your friends, your public square. Nick?
Fortunately, I'm preaching to the choir.
Well, we hear that a lot, preaching to the choir, but it hasn't felt like a choir until like the last week or so. I'll say, and so I really do think it is important, even if the people that we're connected to online are like-minded. We can still deliver them information that it's valuable for them to know and communicate to other people. We can still keep them motivated and mobilized and excited about the ticket and about the election. So it's all good. It's all good. But if we do have people, we have Demcasters who are in deep red areas, and their community on Facebook is extremely conservative, and so that it's just you need to gauge, like, based on the content that's available in our library or wherever, like what and hopefully some of the messaging guidance that we provide about like influencing sort of independents and conservatives, can help steer you toward the right kind of content that'll help maybe mesh with their worldview better. Like I post a lot on my platforms, but my account is like entirely political, and so I don't really feel like I'm bombing anybody, with that content. So yeah, it's just, if people start saying like, "Hey, stop posting that stuff," then maybe it's too much.
And
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I
again,
want to thank Fennell. I'd
Hey,
like
Mark.
to thank you guys.
I
I'd like
think
to
you have
thank
to
you guys.
recognize
This
that
was-
if there is a wear out factor, and I was in advertising for over 30 years, at major ad agencies working on things like Microsoft, and with people like Mark Penn. And so I'm aware that there's absolutely a wear out factor, and you have to be considerate of your group, because they can easily block you, or they can limit the number of messages. All these, Facebook gives you those tools constantly, and the more that you bombard people, the more Facebook will force those directions at people. So you just have to, you do have to be pragmatic about it, but at the same time, I do serve up quite a few, and I also bring on quite a bit of debate on my own forum. I'm just saying, there's limits to everything. You have to be sensible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ed?
Hey, Fennell, I just wanted to thank you guys for doing this training, because this has been extremely helpful. And when we were talking about preaching to the choir, I just used some information Fennell gave me last week. Had my family reunion, and I thought I might have been preaching to the choir, but there were so many ahas, and people grabbed the brochures. We're going to go out and start talking to their family and friends to vote. So I'm thinking, I just assumed that they would get it, but they didn't. So I think there's an opportunity all around. So thank you.
Great point.
Thank
Ed.
you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ed. And I would just say, when you're posting, encourage your friends and family to share, because it's really good stuff. And so ask them to share what they are hearing. That makes a huge difference too. This is the way that we will get to people that we knock on the door that they may not answer, or the telephone that they don't answer. They can get to it through you. Yes, Mark.
I have one on the more positive side. One thing that you didn't mention is, you really have to think about posting in groups where you're likely to cause a pass along factor. That the whole meme quality of this, it can really explode in a good ways just as well. And so it's thinking about where you're posting and how people might respond in those places, and relative to that to the flip side of the wear out and the oversaturation. So it's like, it's, of course, in balance, it's fantastic, and it can have tremendous pass along.
Great. That's a great point. And Mary made a good point too, that you can also use this information in comment sections, where you're not necessarily bombarding your followers or your friends, but you're sort of entering into conversations with this information. That's another great point. But Mark, 100%, like, just a real quick story, because I know we're over, but DemCast helped produce a video and put out a video that was about reproductive rights for especially for young women. And we put it out there, and then our community put it out there, and then like 3 days later, I get an Instagram direct message from my high school age niece saying, "Hey, have you seen this video? This video is great. Like, I'm showing it to everybody in my school," right? And that's meme. Like that's the idea of memes. That's the idea of spreading content on social media. It's like she had no idea that, you know, I had a small hand in like creating that and putting that out there. And but that's how stuff travels. So, 100%.
And the final point, the 11 film stuff is just awesome. And so as you guys sort of play with it tonight and you look at some of those, they are really awesome. And I would also encourage you guys for Facebook stories, because that's where I tend to get a lot of traction. You can get, you know, sometimes people don't look at anything, but you get 100 views or 150 views on your Facebook story. So the ones that are short in the galleries, they work really, really well for Facebook stories, and you'll get a lot of attention there. All right, so we are over time. I just want to say thank you again, Nick. Thank you so much for supporting me through this
Thank you.
training.
You
And
got
and we'll just keep at it. So guys, thank you so much. I hope to hear from
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, we'll
Thank
see you in
on
Reach.
email.
See you in
Thank
Reach,
you.
All
everybody.
you're doing.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
You guys are the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.